Hey everybody, how's it going? And welcome to another MAMJ Let's Play of 999. When we left off, a lot of stuff happened. We did an hour-long episode. Santa kidnapped June and took Ace and Lotus with him. And now we've got Clover and Santa and Junpei over here, and Seven, all over here exploring the library. So we're gonna see if we can find Alice or All Ice, because apparently she's somewhere underneath all of this stuff. Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking. Okay. Mother Nature.
Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks?
Probably not. Except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection.
I was just trying to make a joke.
Dude, hippie chicks? Really? Maybe.
The theory of evolution. Heck, even I know this one. It's that Darwin guy, right?
Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution. Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection. Exactly. Okay, am I supposed to look at every single one of these? Micrographia, huh? Ah, yes. Robert Hooke's famous work, first published in 1665. He built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess, and this shelf is concerned with natural sciences. Okay.
Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about?
Why are you asking me? I don't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe you should ask a human with a tail. Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails and were no longer useful, and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least, that's what I read. I was rather young. I may have remembered it incorrectly.
Huh? Why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that?
I don't know. I don't know if I should be over here right now. Introduction to geology, huh? Thinking about the Earth, even when you're on the ocean. Kind of romantic in a way, I guess. Okay. Oh my god, there's so many books. Oh jeez. Dadkind? What the hell is this? Wasn't that a German mathematician? Maybe it's a compilation of his work. Okay. Owen, huh? Owen isn't enough to go on. Perhaps it's about the English Revolutionary. Sheldrake? Sheldrake? Is it Sheldrake? What? Liebernese? This book is in German. It looks like it's complete works of something. I've never heard of it. Well, if Snake doesn't know what it is, I don't think we'll ever know. Okay then. There are a lot of places to go and look right now. What are you?
This bookshelf has sort of a glass inlay. It's pretty big, but there's only 6 books on it. It seems kinda weird.
Hey, it looks like there's something on the bottom. I can't really see it though. The glass is all foggy. What about this lock? Ooh, we probably need to figure that out. Okay. So we're getting some idea of what we need to do. Iron plates bolted down. I don't think it's a door. I think it's just a wall. Okay then. What are you? It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands. Am I supposed to put something on those stands? Maybe? This is really weird. Energy theory, the development of nanotechnology materials. Interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else we got? Just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache.
Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along real well. Keep on talking about that stuff and you're gonna put me to sleep.
Bookshelf has a bunch of books about things like energy theory, okay? Oh, this looks interesting. What are you? What's the deal with these titles?
They're all just gibberish.
Hey, what if we like switch them around?
Switch them around?
Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something. Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot. Okay. Hang on. It says open. Oh god. I need to start here. There we go. Open here, find bulb. How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order opened the thing right up. That was a piece of cake. Hooray! You did it, Junpei. I guess that turned out well enough. So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb. And we did. A powerful light bulb, okay. So maybe those music stand thingies, we need 3 light bulbs? Quantum gravity. 7, do you have any idea what this is?
How about you start by using real words? Then maybe we'll get somewhere.
Uh-huh. What's this? An overview of conformal field theory. Well, it's a theory that posits an invariant quantum field where conformal transformation can take place.
Knock it off with the science voodoo stuff. You trying to put me to sleep?
There's so much. Supersymmetric string theory and 10-dimensional spacetime. They're just talking about superstring theory. It's a theory of reality, well, how to explain? It says that all the elements of the universe are governed by vibrations and harmonics of tiny supersymmetric strings. Of course, I mean, you guys got that right. I knew that.
Are the property values going up out in space too these days? Man, I guess times are tough for aliens too.
This one says cosmic inflation. Wow, 7. With the jokes. Quantum gravity, okay. Theory of general relativity, huh? Ooh, I know this one. That's Einstein, right? Yes. Okay, so we already got the bulb for there. Oh my god. The black hole hypothesis. Gamma ray astrophysics. I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme. And I think I am about to lose my mind. The handrail is made of metal, probably a wise choice of building material. Oh god. There's just so much. Teletemporation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about?
Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation.
It refers to having the ability to travel through time. Like Steins Gate. This book is called, Mind Swap. You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother or Junpei too much, but I'd rather die than let 7 switch me.
What the hell? Like, I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like...
Hey, were you just imagining it? You were.
Shut up.
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one. Junpei, you shouldn't say stuff like that. Kitab al-Azif? Man, they've got some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one. Who's that? Some famous guy? It's not a person's name. It's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul Arzed. It's said to be one of the sources used in creation of legendary book of the dead, the Necromenon. Oh, so these are all occult books and stuff. This one says the golden rabbit and the moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about? It's talking about the Judas tree that is said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend. Okay. What's this piece of paper? There's a note on the table. Lights on the book, or lights to the books. Huh? What does that mean? Interesting. Well, intelligence often hides itself in darkness. Have you ever thought about the passages of a book? Each page only sees, what, maybe 2 or 3 minutes of light before the reader is on to the next. They spend the rest of their lives locked in darkness. Rather like myself. That's horrible. Oh, don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining, not at all. I live in the darkness, yes, but that hasn't gifted me with the ability to catch the truths others might miss. I can hear the voices hidden in the darkness, you might say. Okay. Well then. So we've got one bulb. Let's see what we've got here. So many books here, I wonder what this one's... Whoa, what's this? Warm? Oh, sorry. No. I'm sorry.
Hey, what's the deal with the sappy stuff?
What? Modern Japanese literature, huh? Okay. What's this? Origin of Japanese folklore. Looks like there are a bunch of books about Japanese culture here. Mostly ones about folklore, though. Well, folklore can cover a wide range of subjects. History, urban life, religious trends, environmental changes, oral traditions, Folklore can cover all those things, if you know where to look. This looks pretty deep. Agriculture and historical organizations and folklore. Okay, a picture book. Here? Looks like it's an old folktale. Don't you think it's a little weird that this book's the only picture book? Maybe you ought to hold on to it. Oh. Okay, can we search it? It's got a magic wand on it, okay. So, what's inside? Well, aren't you going to open it? Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside. Smart. Whoa! SE5. It's a pop-up book. SE5? What is that? Well, when I opened it, these 4 letters came out. So I guess it's a pop-up book, huh? SE5. I wonder what that means. Me too. Okay, that's agriculture. This isn't a picture book on the shelf anymore. Okay. So much stuff to look at and so much to do right now. Oh, hang on. Maybe this goes in here. It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. I know that. Can I... Hey, Junpei, you think maybe you're supposed to put those pop-up books on there? Then, could you open them up?
Oh yeah, if we do that, then they make a shadow on the bottom there.
True, but there are 3 stands, right? We don't have enough picture books. In other words, we need 3 picture books. Okay, 3 picture books and 3 bulbs, right? I would assume.
Oh, I gotta find picture books in here.
Pythagorean theorem is a famous one. Sounds like there are a number of math books in this section. Okay, algebraic numeric theory, or number theory, math. Yay!
There's another one like that over there.
You mean something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry? Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those. Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right. Snake, you big smarty pants. Okay, I already looked at those. Goldbox Conjecture.
Conjecture? What's it about? Like magic or psychic stuff or something? Right. I bet it's about jewelry, isn't it?
It may have an odd title, but it's actually a very respectable mathematics book. It deals with one of the unsolved problems of additive number theory.
Sorry I said anything. Look, let's not get into this right now, okay?
That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny. Why is that funny? I don't know. Apparently she's not gonna go any further into it. It says Riemann hypotheses. What is there to hypothesize about with a remain? Isn't it pretty straightforward? Heavens no. There are many factors. Length, girth, lubrication, or lack of. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field. Whoa. I don't know what they're talking about, but okay. This one's a book on Japanese culture, modern Japanese literature. This is different, right? Folklore? No, it's not. Yeah, okay, I've already been here. Oh, jeez. Folklore and myth. Have I looked at everything on this floor? But there's something suspicious about the shelf on the left. What? There are books here in all sorts of languages, but there's something suspicious about the shelf on the left, which is this one, but we already looked at that one. Okay, whatever. Oh god, I gotta just freaking go through all this. This is gonna take forever.
Hey, it's another one of those kids' picture books. It looks a lot like the other one we found.
Oh, thank god. Okay, let's open it up.
This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey Junpei, take a look at this one.
Native Americans, huh? Maybe it's got some. Whoa! Alright. Awesome. LRK. Whew. Okay, I got another one. What's Hellenism? I think it's something like a fusion of Greek and Oriental culture. Okay.
Permian creatures? Seems a little fancy for some kind of prehistoric critter. Not to mention most of them were likely reptiles and amphibians. Without hair, I can't imagine they had much need of perms.
That's got nothing to do with this. Look, this one says Cultural Heritage of Rome.
But that's going to be serious inheritance tax.
7. Why do you? History of Buddhism. Okay. History of the medieval period. Maybe it's about Sir Lancelot. Isn't he just a story? I don't think you're gonna find a guy who didn't really exist in a history book. Okay, this one's called History of the Western World. Well, I'd assume it's about European history. Yeah. Just gonna leave it at that sake. Doesn't seem like you care much about European history. Hey, look at this! The book's called Greek Mythology.
That thing is huge. Can't imagine anyone actually reading the whole thing. Pretty sure it just put me to sleep.
I got to read a bunch of Greek literature, Greek mythology. Some of it's fun, some of it's not. The black hole hypothesis, okay. Anything over here? History, cultural heritage. Okay, I already been here. I gotta find more things. Oh look, Seven, here's the book that's perfect for you. It's called Correlation of Muscle, Bone Density, and Bone Strength.
You're just saying that because it says muscle.
Probably. Principles of monkey behavior, huh? I'd imagine it's a book describing paraxology studies on monkeys. Monkeys are very similar to humans evolutionarily, so I imagine the research was fruitful. Functions of the human brain, huh? I guess it's a book about the nervous system. I'd love to ask you to read it to me, but I don't think we have the time. I'm kind of curious about it too. There's got to be a reason why people connected with each other, you know? This one looks just like that picture book from earlier. The one with the pop-ups.
You think they're part of a series or something? They do have the same binding.
Oh, good. So we got the 3 books, but I don't have any bulbs yet. There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei. Let's see what's in it. I'm gonna go on a limb and say it's probably a baseball Whoa! Head. Weird. Okay. No more bulbs. Human equilibrium theory. Human anatomy. Regeneration of internal organs. Okay, ancient gladiators. What's this book doing here? Maybe they were researching the human physical limits across history.
Look, this one's called Recreation of Lost Human Functions. You think they're talking about if you lose a body part, then you could grow it back?
I don't think so. Maybe they're talking about reconstructing abilities that humans once possessed. In other words, they may be talking about cultivating a 6th sense. Okay, this episode is so full of just knowledge, isn't it? I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize it was going to be like this. Okay. Small enclosure with 9 sides. I know. Let's put the books on there. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then... what's it say? This is a little weird. There are 3 lights in this thing. They aren't very bright, though.
Hey, didn't we find some kind of really powerful light bulb earlier? Why don't you put it into one of those lights?
Yeah. Well, it'll get a lot brighter, but if there are 3 lights, that means 3 light bulbs. There won't be much point unless we can replace all 3 bulbs. We need 3 light bulbs, huh? Of course we do. So I need to find out where else I can get light bulbs. Well, at least we're making some progress. It's so collection heavy. Okay, so maybe now I can find somewhere or something. Man, this thing is kind of narrow. I feel like walking a tightrope. Geez, Snake, aren't you scared? Imagine a wall 20 inches wide that turns alongside the top of a 10-story building. Could you walk along that wall, Junpei? No way. Then what about a balance beam in a gymnasium? Oh, well, that's easy. You don't find that strange? A balance beam is far narrower than 20 inches. So why is it that the balance beam poses no challenge, but the hypothetical 10-story wall does? The light can easily turn people into cowards. From time to time, a life in darkness can give you courage. Cool! That's lovely. That's wonderful. I gotta find more light bulbs. Okay, so we did that one. I gotta look. I gotta look and see if I can find it in this gigantic library. Wish me luck. Oh wait, we just pulled the book out. Huh, looks like there's a whole lot of space behind these books. Look, Junpei, I think there's something hidden behind the books. Oh, do we have a light bulb? Oh, we got a light bulb. Okay then. Well, there was a light bulb there. There isn't anything there now. That took a lot longer than I thought it was gonna take. Yeah. I found one, so we need just one more, and then we'll be good to go. I just gotta look. At this point, I don't even think they're saying anything new. I'm just looking. I'm just looking for stuff, so hang on, hang tight, and we will get that third light bulb. They'll probably give us a code to unlock the block that's keeping the cabinet closed down there. I just gotta find out where I'm supposed to be. Whoa, hold on a second. From left to right, they say volume 632415. You can look at the spines. I wonder if that's the code. 632415. I mean, it's worth a shot at this point. 632415. Yeah, I know how you use the lock. Please, before I forget, what the hell is this? It's like they just gave us the answer. Guess I might as well give it a shot. Oh, it's, yeah. Okay, I didn't realize it was gonna be there. 6, 3, 2, 4, 1, 5? It's really that easy? I mean, I guess after all this time that we spent digging through books, you did it, Junpei! Yay! I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright? So what's in here? Is it the last bulb? Ah, it is! That's where it was. Okay, well I thought the ultimate goal was to open that up. I didn't realize... Okay, I put the pocketbooks on the top of the stands, yeah. And we're gonna change the lights. Now they should... Shield Rake 5. It worked!
Way to go, Junpei. Good job, buddy.
There's something projecting on the bottom. These letters, they seem familiar. Sheldrake. Sheldrake 5. The book. Nope. I've already looked at every single book ever known to man. Sheldrake 5. It says Sheldrake on the spine of this book. It's got the volume number written on the lower part of the spine. Yeah, we need 5. Why are you doing this to me? Why are you doing this to me? Do I need to click on the... Do I need to click on the actual shadow that's been cast first or something? Probably. Fine then. Sheldrake. Junpei read the text out loud.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's somewhere around here. I know! Let's go take a look. Okay. Seven and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind. Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean. Junpei grinned. Yeah, Lotus told me about him. There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He had a rather interesting theory. The theory of morphogenic fields, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance. Really? From Lotus, huh? Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff. She did? Yeah, what was it? The ability to access a morphogenic field is affected by a couple of things. First is epiphany, and the other is danger. That girl. I told her not to tell anyone. You did? Why? Junpei's eyes narrowed. Look, man, I don't want to push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay? Tell you what? Don't give me that. About the experiment. Snake's shoulders slumped and he shook his head slowly. He'd finally given up. Very well. Fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor. Junpei nodded. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Okay, interesting. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived. Then finally crossed his arms and spoke. I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card. Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper. It looked a good deal like the one he'd shown everyone on the central staircase. So you had 2 cards? No, I only had 1. Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nonary game on it. Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on this card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read. And that was... Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell, and I activate your sister's detonator. Oh. Well, Snake nodded. Well, what about Clover? Did she get that message from Zero too? I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth and not hers? Yeah, that does seem a little weird. To be on the safe side, however, I told her that it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl. What's wrong with her telling me? I figured out some stuff with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs, happy as a clam now that you're back. Snake glanced down at Clover and Seven, examining one of the bookshelves. That is very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And, at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us. Why not? Clover told me about the four-leaf clover, about the words. He knew about that. Then, he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was. Snake paused and cocked his head, as though he was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him. Hey, Snake? Junpei wasn't quite sure of what to say. Snake turned and looked at him. Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment? Yeah. How much do you know? Junpei relayed to Snake everything Clover had told him. The morphogenic field and the experiments 9 years prior that had dealt with it. How the experiment had taken place simultaneously at two locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada, and how they played the Nonary game. He told him everything. And finally, he told him how a girl died during the experiment. Oh, she told you all that, did she? Snake looked down. His face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body, and he tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front, but even Junpei could tell that he was holding back something deep and powerful. He made as if to brush something from his face and looked up at Junpei. At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains is for us to determine is who did this and why, right? Yes. Can you tell me what happened? Snake nodded slowly. The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical. There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruaki Kubota, Kagechika Musashiro. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Nijisaki was the right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division. Musashiro was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, and Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashiro provided the cash. So it's Hongo, Nijisaki, Kubota, Musashiro. Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he'd heard those 4 names somewhere before. Of course, more than 4 people were required to conduct an experiment of this scale. To that end, they organized a top-secret team to assist them with their research. All in all, they gathered 10 people or so. Those 10 completed their team, and they were able to begin the project. They named it the Nonary Project. The purpose of the experiment was to research the prospect of controlling a human mind through sheer will. The vessel, I suppose you could say, for this control was the morphogenic field. Why did the glycerin suddenly begin to crystallize? Why did the crystal structure of EDT undergo such a sudden change? Why did the rats improve their puzzle-solving skills with each generation? Experiments with humans produce the same results. The more people who knew the answer to a question, the more people there were who could answer correctly without having seen the problem before. Why? How? The answer is that the shape of the answer has been stored in a field invisible to the naked eye. And through that field, the resonant event transmits information related to that answer. That's essentially the idea behind morphogenic fields. But that's just a theory. Can't bring yourself to believe it? Not really. Let's say someone killed another person because the devil told them to do it. Whether the devil exists or not has no relevance to the murder. They believe the devil exists. Whether or not he does is immaterial. So what matters here is that Hongo believed in the morphogenetic field. Snake nodded. But I still don't get it. You said they wanted to figure out how to control people, right? That is what you're saying. Yes. So, how are they going to do that with the morphogenetic field? I'll keep it simple. Let's suppose 10,000 people have solved a certain problem. The chance of you knowing that answer, even if no one has told you, would go up. Let's have another example, shall we? Say 1 million people, yeah, that's 1 million, were told to do a handstand right now. Tomorrow, the chances of you doing a handstand would be higher, even if you had heard nothing of this hypothetical mass handstanding. Mankind's thought processes and actions are all part of a resonant event. All of the resonant events encoded in the fields are projected onto you. Of course, this assumes you believe in this theory. Do you follow so far? Yeah. But, let's say hypothetically, that there was a person who had the same effect as those millions of people. What would happen? If that one person were to do a handstand, other people would find themselves wanting to do handstands as well. Can you imagine what a person with powers like that would be able to do? Come on, there's no way. I'm not done. Imagine another scenario. Imagine another person. This is an ordinary person. Let's say he does a handstand. What if there's someone who could grab the resonant event he created by doing that, and use it to make other people do handstands? What would happen then? A person who has the power to write the field, and someone who can read from the same. You could think of them as the writer and the reader, or the transmitter and the receiver. What would the world be like if there were people with abilities like these? Junpei thought about it for a moment. So, the transmitter's resonant event can be transmitted through the field and sent to the receiver? And then the transmitter can control the receiver however they wish. That's what you're saying, right? Yes, close enough at least. Come on, that's just crazy! Well, if you want to prove that, then you'll have to test it first. At least, that was how they thought. That was why they decided to do their experiment. That was how the Nonary project began. Snake suddenly looked very serious. Junpei, have you ever heard of the Ganzfield experiment? Junpei nodded. Yeah. That was an experiment in telepathy, right? They put a pair of subjects in separate rooms. Then they'd show one of them a picture and ask the other one what they saw. Interesting. I'm impressed. Yes, that is exactly correct. So, why did you bring up the Ganzfield experiment? It was used to screen subjects for the Nonary project. The hospital in a remote town was affiliated with Cradle Pharmaceutical. Hongo used it to conduct experiments on visiting children in secret. Some of them, he found, had potential. He began to gather children that showed promise, the children that seemed as though they might be able to access the field. Of course, none of them volunteered. They were kidnapped. His face barely moved as he spoke. There were 9 pairs of siblings taken, for 18 children total. For reasons that were not fully understood at the time, each pair had 1 transmitter and 1 receiver. They were split perfectly. As such, the 18 children were split into 2 groups of 9. The children who were put in Group Q were the ones who excelled at transmitting. They were transferred to the mock experiment building, known as Building Q, in the Nevada desert. Words are not working for me today. The children who excelled at receiving were put in Group A. The members of Group A were placed on the former hospital ship Gigantic. From the experiments he had conducted so far, Hongo had learned the following. There are two things that can increase one's resonance with the fields. The first is epiphany. The other is danger. Have you ever been faced with an especially difficult problem and thought about it very long and very hard until finally an answer suddenly appeared in your mind? It may seem obvious to say so, but that is what is meant by epiphany. The information obtained through that epiphany can be easily transmitted through the fields, where it can be easily interpreted. Adding danger to that equation allows for even easier field access. Therefore, Hongo set up a number of puzzles across the Gigantic. The participants had to solve each puzzle before they could move to the next room. Of course, he hadn't forgotten to include danger. More specifically, he had detonated a bomb on the hull of the Gigantic. The children in Group A were forced to play the nonary game as the ship sunk. By forcing children into a life or death situation, Hongo hoped to increase the likelihood of their tapping into the fields. The children from Group Q, on the other hand, were confined into a mock experiment building, Building Q. Building Q duplicated the interior and puzzles of the Gigantic exactly. Hongo explained the situation to the children in Group Q. Solve the puzzles you find throughout the rooms. When you solve them, transmit that information to the children in Group A. If you succeed, they'll be able to solve the puzzles and escape. But if you fail, then the Gigantic will sink and your brothers and sisters will drown. Do you know why the astronauts of Apollo 13 were able to return to Earth safely? It was because NASA had access to a replica of the Apollo 13 capsule. All of the equipment, the instruments, everything, all of it identical. NASA was able to replicate the situation the astronauts were facing by putting themselves in the same situation. They attempted to solve the problems they knew the astronauts were experiencing. Once they found solutions, they reported their findings to the men aboard the actual capsule. That was how they were able to return safely. It was the same with the Gigantic in Building Q. The children from Group Q had to use the power of epiphany to solve the puzzles that they found, and transmit what they learned through the fields. The children in Group A, however, had to access the fields to learn how they might advance to the next stage. That is the simplest explanation I can manage. Snake sounded defeated. His half-hearted attempt at derision served only to show how much the story had affected him. Just as Junpei was about to speak,
Hey, Junpei, Snake, how much longer are you two gonna sit around on those... Get down here already!
Seven's voice echoed up from below. Snake took a deep breath and blinked rapidly, as if just waking up from a long nap. He's right. Let's go, shall we? We don't have much time. We need to get out of here, and soon. Snake headed for the stairs, but Junpei put out an arm to stop him. Hold it. There's one more thing I want to ask you. Are you sure that there were 18 kids? Why? Well, I thought it was only 16. Oh, yes. That was what they said on the news, wasn't it? Yes, I have no doubt that 18 children were abducted and used in Hongo's experiment. After all, you couldn't exactly play a nonary game with any less, could you? Well, yeah, but... Are you saying that the news got it wrong? Yes, I am. There were 2 more children. However, they had no relatives that I'm aware of. I imagine no one filed a police report when they went missing. They were brother and sister, like Clover and I. The brother's name was Aoi. The sister's name was... Her name was... Snake couldn't bring himself to continue. It looked as if he was about to say what's going to bring him great pain. Her name was Akane. That was the girl who died. Junpei felt as if he had been punched in the stomach. His vision went blurry and his head felt light. He couldn't think straight. Everything was blank. Had Akane Kurashiki died 9 years ago? If she had, then who was June? No, that was impossible. It couldn't be true. Akane wasn't an uncommon name. If Snake had known her last name, then that would have been a different matter entirely. So they shared a name. There were many people who did as well. It meant nothing. It was a different person. Of course, it was a different person. It had to be. Junpei shook his head, hard, and pulled himself back to reality. Is something wrong, Junpei? Your breathing sounds strange. Then Snake had noticed. Junpei cleared his throat and tried to act calm. No, it's nothing. I'm fine. Let's get back down there, alright? Snake raised an eyebrow but said nothing. He headed down the stairs, Junpei bringing up the rear. He couldn't bring himself to ask. He told himself he knew the answer already, but he couldn't bring himself to ask what the girl's last name had been. With every step he took, the cold, hard sound of feet against metal dug at his heart. Well then. Okay, I know this episode's going to be a bit long. Well, I don't know how long it's going to be since I still need to figure out what I'm supposed to be doing. I want to get out of here, at least. Sheldrake, this is it. This is what the shadow picture is pointing to. But it didn't say 5 at the end of the shadow picture. Yes, I think we need to find the 5th volume. Well, would you look at that? There's a big red button behind this book. I guess we should press the button. Push the button! Explode the ship. Probably not. Okay then, sure. What was that sound?
It sounded like something really big was moving.
It came from the top floor. Alright, let's go check it out. Alright, let's go up there. Like I said, I know this episode's gonna be a bit long, but I did so much searching that I don't exactly know how long it's going to be. But that story took quite a bit of time, so I may end it. Alright, this handle's gonna open the door for me. Did it work? Man, it doesn't matter how hard we pull, this thing isn't going anywhere. Looks like it's probably locked. Okay, what about this one? It's a thick metal door. There's a handle in the middle of it, though. Come on, door, open! Nothing? Might as well try to open a wall. I know you're feeling kind of rushed, but you do realize it's pointless, don't you? It's not going to get you anywhere. There's only one thing we can do. Let's go. There's a keyboard in front of the numbers, and there are 4 Roman numerals. On the wall, it's got to be a hint of some sort. 13, 14, 10, and 13. And those are all Roman numerals. Do you think we just need to put in the numbers from the wall on the keyboard?
No, you can't. The keyboard doesn't have any number keys. You can't type in stuff like 3 or 4.
Then that means... Well, I bet you gotta type something on the keyboard. Yeah, but you can only enter letters. And it looks like you can only enter 4 letters. Okay, let's see how it works. You just need to hit enter once you type in the letters. You can erase what you type with clear. Okay, basic operations. Okay. My guess is gonna be hexadecimal, which is not my favorite, because I need to remember how it works again. Hang on, let me just refresh my memory. Yeah, I know. I get it. What is Snake doing? These Roman numerals, if you convert them to Arabic numerals, you have 13, 14, 10, and 3. True. But this keyboard only has letters, and we can only type in 4 letters. Then why don't you try to convert the numbers to letters? Yes, let me look at my file. Because I think we had something about hexadecimal. Didn't we? Maybe not. Maybe I'm losing my mind. Okay, give me a second. I just gotta remember what it's supposed to be, and then I'll figure it out. So just hold on tight for just a few seconds, and I'll get it sorted. I'm not sure how much I like this solution, but I'm pretty sure it spells out dead. Enter is space? That's weird. Yep, okay. Dead was the answer. That's lovely. Yay! You did it, Junpei. It's unlocked now. Good job, Junpei.
Whoa there, don't get too excited. The password is dead, remember? Just makes me think whatever's waiting for us isn't good.
So what? Jeez, you're such an old lady. We can't be worrying about stuff like that. I mean, come on. We got it to unlock, didn't we? Let's go. Hurry up. Now we can go? It's a thing. I know that. I thought I clicked on the wheel. Alright, Handle. It's time we got this over with. There we go. No?
What? Why not? We put the password in, what else do we have to do?
Then that means it's the other door. God dang it. Alright, let's get this thing open. Really? You gave me 2 doors? And of course I picked the one that's locked. Either way. Okay, we found the exit. We learned a little bit about Steak and his past. We've got a theory that Akane may not be alive anymore. Of course, how would that even work? The door opened, and Junpei and the others slept through it. But no sooner had they done so, than a clang of metal on metal rang out behind them. They spun around. The door they just come through had slammed shut. Junpei grabbed hold of it with both hands and pulled with all his strength. Nope. We're trapped. Looks like it locks automatically. Is there any other way out? Oh god, what is this place? Well, there's another door over on the right. There's a card reader next to it. It's got a red light on it though, so I'm pretty sure it's locked too. But there is a card reader, right? Yeah. Then perhaps if we find a key card, we can open the door and leave. Well, yeah, that might work, but... Hey, wait a minute. Are you saying we're gonna have to search through this room for one little card?
Oh man.
They took a second look around the room they'd found themselves in. Oh geez. Yeah, that's gonna have to be another episode. It was filled with piles upon piles of all manner of things. The only word that could describe it was chaotic. It was like a tornado had passed through, followed by a giant who had picked up and shaken the entire room a few times. Junpei's heart fell. Clover and Seven looked as though they were about to cry. Well, we can sit down and want to die if that's what you'd prefer. I'd rather doubt that, however, so it would be wise to start looking. We haven't much time. Let's find that key card. Oh, and the Neptune key as well. We won't be able to get through the hallway without it. Alright then, let's begin. Okay. Well, we need to find another way out. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this episode here. I feel like it's gonna be a decent amount of content, so you guys should be okay. But we are coming very close to the end. I believe this is the final room before we head toward the ending. There's one more puzzle that we'll have to do. But hopefully in either the next episode or the episode after that, we'll be able to get the true ending to 999. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know if you enjoyed. I'll see you guys on the next MJ. There is, most likely, only one person with a 6. But I don't get it. What about June? Well, this is only an educated guess. Oh, that's right, Junpei isn't 6. June is 6. I'm an idiot. That's why it worked, but it didn't in my head. I think June's number was never 6 to begin with. Her bracelet was flipped. In other words, June's real number is 9. That seems most likely.